All right, guys, welcome back. Today is going to be an awesome episode. We are talking with Jillian Leslie of Catch My Party about how to get sponsored as an influencer. This is one of my absolute favorite topics to talk about. And when you're talking to someone like Jillian Leslie from Catch My Party, who is one of the premier blogs that is out there and has been doing this and getting paid for quite some time, you know it's going to be great information. Let's dive in. I am here with Jillian Leslie. How are you, Jillian?
Hi, guys. Hi.
I am so excited to be able to have this conversation with you. We are going to be diving into this and just really talking about how you're able to how to get sponsored as an influencer. So we're going to dive into this, but first I want Jillian to be able to introduce herself to you all. So Jillian, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Sure. Well, I have multiple businesses, which I didn't set out to do. Okay. So hi, everybody. I'm Jillian. And about, 9 years ago, I started a site with my husband called Catch My Party. And we've grown it into the largest party ideas site on the web. And if in fact you've got kids and you have planned parties and you've gone to Pinterest looking for party ideas, chances are you've ended up on my site. So, and Pinterest is a huge traffic driver for us, and we are approaching like 1 million followers on Pinterest. So that's really where people know us from. Anyway, about 2 years ago, so since Pinterest was such a big thing for our business, my husband, who's the technologist, built a pop-up that we put on our site to grow our Pinterest followers. And we built it for ourselves. We didn't have any other thoughts about it. And it worked really well, and our Pinterest following just kept growing and growing. And we thought to ourselves, wow, maybe we could roll this out and help other bloggers grow their social media followers from this app. And so we also integrated it at that point with Instagram, so you could grow your Instagram followers with it. And we just kind of launched it. I went to a conference, a food conference, and I started talking about it and said, hey guys, you might want to try this. And since then, we've been just growing it, and it's called Milo Tree, and you might have seen it on other people's sites. So we still use it on Catch My Party. If you had to Catch My Party right now, you'll see it pop with our Pinterest pop-up because, again, Pinterest is so important to us. So now we have these two businesses. We have Catch My Party and Milo Tree, and it's kind of like having two children who are very different, but I love them both very much. And so and I have a podcast, which is where we first really connected because you're an upcoming guest on my podcast. Yes. And my podcast is called the Blogger Genius Podcast. And I started it because I want to help bloggers grow their businesses, very much like you, Jenny. And so it was, again, a perfect fit. So there's the Blogger Genius, which I love. So now I have 3 children, actually.
Yeah. We always just keep adding more to it, right? We just, as many as we possibly can, and we see if we can spin all of these glass plates to not let them fall and all crack.
They do fall every so often, just so you know.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. So it's so funny that you brought up the podcast interview because that was how we first kind of connected. You had invited me to come on to your podcast, and I was like, oh, okay. And then in the middle of the interview, you said something about Catch My Party, and I like, oh my God. It's like, this is Catch My Party. Oh my God. So as a new blogger, I did a lot of party kind of planning because I had a daughter who we thought was going to be my only one, and we were going to shower her with the best birthdays ever. And I was very much into it. So I remembered always submitting my parties to Catch My Party. So when you said that to me, I like kind of like my breath caught when you said,
oh, that is so sweet.
At the time when we were first talking, I didn't connect the dots when we said it.
No, because they're so different. So it's really funny because people know me in these different capacities. And so like I can give you party tips and I can give you blogging tips.
Right, exactly. No, absolutely. So one of the things that I loved about Catch My Party is that I think it was different than everyone else out there at that time because it was so niched, right? Which was really different back in the dinosaur days where we talked about like what we ate or how we dressed or whatever. Do you think that it came into play in your success with Catch My Party?
I do. But again, we kind of stumbled into that. Like my husband was working at MySpace. And so he was dealing with like teen stuff. And so when we started Catch My Party, we actually created it for teens. We thought that it would be a site for teens to share their parties. And then what happened was like we built it. And I don't know if you remember like the early versions, it was really pink and purple, like it is pink now, but just really kind of gaudy and very teen-like. And then it got kind of weird because we had this platform, but we didn't have any content. So I'm like this 30-something-year-old woman kind of stalking teens online, trying to get them to put their party photos up on our site. And they'd be like, who are you? Like, you know, this is before Facebook and really exploded, and definitely before Instagram. But then what was super weird was moms with Etsy shops found our site and started putting up their party photos. And in the beginning, I thought, oh no, these aren't the people that we're supposed to be getting on our site. And then we kind of took a step back and we're like, wait a second, maybe this is the type of people we should be attracting to our site. And that's always one of my biggest kind of lessons, which is co-create with your users, co-create, give them what they want and grow with them. So we embraced that. And then all of a sudden, all these moms started putting, you know, My Little Pony parties up and Tinkerbell parties and pirate parties and things like that. And we're like, let's go that way.
Yes. And I love the way that you said like listening and co-creating with your audience, because a lot of times as bloggers, we talk about this whole idea of, well, what kind of content should I be continuing to create? And we talk about, look at your analytics. Yes. What is driving traffic to your site already? That will tell you what you're being identified as, what people are being attracted to. So I love that idea of co-creating. Love that term.
And the thing that, just based on what you said, which is, so we were parties. And just by that, like in our name, Catch My Party, you know, in certain ways, I would say that limited us. But in a way, by limiting us, it focused us. And especially if you want to work with companies, the more you know what you are and what your secret sauce is, the easier it is to pitch yourself.
I love that you just brought up the fact about working with companies, because my next question for you was that as an influencer, how did you get sponsored? Did they find you? Did you reach out to them? How did that begin?
All of it. So first we were with a company that has gone out of business that was called Glam Media. Then it was called Mode Media. And it was like our ad network. And they would send us, hey, we are working with Procter & Gamble. You know, would you want to do this opportunity? And we would say yes. And so that was really, it was good to start that way for us because we kind of understood then what brands were looking for.
Right.
So it wasn't just me reaching out to a brand and then being like, I don't know what to deliver, because they would be very clear about what they wanted delivered. And it was almost like having like somebody you could bounce ideas off of, like an intermediary. And even though when you do work with brands, there are intermediaries, the more knowledgeable you are, the better. The more sophisticated you are, the better. So we started that way. But then, like, here's an example of something that was crazy. So when we first started, we one of the things that put us on the map was giving away free party printables. So we'd have designers design printables. If you go to our site now, there are tons of them, free party decorations. So one thing is you print them on a printer. And so I all of a sudden saw on Facebook that HP at the time was doing free printables, a little bit, just a tiny bit. And I said to my husband, who's my partner, I'm going to get in touch with them because I want them to sponsor our printables. And he was like, no way, like, how are you? I knew nobody.
Right.
But what I did was I went to their contact form and I said, can you get me in touch with the people at HP who are doing the printables? And I went through maybe 10 people, no, it's not us, it's somebody else. But I kept at it. Like I kept sending emails going, could you connect me to the right person? And ultimately it was, of course, some design company in like Portland who they were working with. And I was able to reach out to them, and I was able to really authentically say, here's who we are. If people download our printables, we could recommend that they use HP printers and HP paper and all of this stuff. And they became our first sponsor.
See, that's such a good story, because I think one of the things that people run into, especially as bloggers, as influencers, when they're first starting to try to want to work with brands, they feel like they run into this wall. And that right there, like you had to go through 10 different people.
And my husband was like, you're never going to do this. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. I had to find it.
And that was a time when you weren't able to use Instagram stories to be able to tag them to speed up the process. Like that was what it was about. And it was about a process of figuring out how to make it work. And I know that people get frustrated when they start trying to reach out to brands, and I'll hear all the time, but I'm not hearing back. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
It's a process. You have to follow up and just continue to find the right person. I've called them. I have gotten on the phone and called the company.
Yes.
And if you are nice and you can articulate what you are looking for,
yes.
they will put you in place with the right person.
Yeah, it's like you need to know though what your story is. So I had a really good story, which is I've got moms, and moms are going to be buying lots of ink. And I'm offering this thing, why don't you sponsor? Like I was able to kind of set it up and say, why don't you sponsor this? So that's what I would say, which is if you're kind of wishy-washy, like I could do recipes or I could do crafts or whatever. It's a little like for a brand you want to make it easy, I think, for the brand, meaning you want to give them ideas, not necessarily that that's the idea they're going to go with, but you want to paint the picture.
Right. Yes. No, absolutely. And I think like I always try to make sure that we're painting a picture that's not too specific that they immediately go, yeah, no, we're not thinking of that. That's insane. We're talking about
right.
But it's broad enough that it is about their product though, and how it serves your audience, because they're trying to get in front of that audience. And the way that you said, you were serving moms that were coming, that were going to be printing and using ink and using paper and all these products. It was the perfect audience, and finding that hook to draw them in. Oh my goodness. Yes. So question I have for you is, what social platforms do you think helped get you sponsored as an influencer right now? Not back then when we were dinosaurs, but now.
Instagram.
I love that you don't even pause.
And I'll tell you why, because we have information to back that up, which is so at Milo Tree, we offer all these different pop-ups, right? So we offer Pinterest and we offer Instagram, we offer Facebook, we offer YouTube. And right now, so we look at our analytics, and and again, our users, our Milo Tree customers tend to be your audience, right? Yes. They are bloggers, they are female entrepreneurs, they are and the number one service that they are linking to is Instagram. And the other thing that I would say is Pinterest is second, because Pinterest drives traffic.
Right.
And as Facebook is going through its weird stuff, there's less of Facebook groups are helpful, definitely. But in terms of that idea of I'm going to, grow my Facebook page to 1 million followers, and I'm going to put affiliate links in there and make money, that you're not getting that level of exposure anymore. They've really pulled back on that. Yeah. So it's Instagram and it's Pinterest, but brands really want Instagram. They do want pins and they do want tweets and they do want Facebook posts, but it's like Instagram is hot.
And it's because you don't necessarily, and I always try to explain this because I have an audience of bloggers where some are like, yes, Instagram, this is my thing. And then there's others that probably have been blogging for a while, like myself, because this was often my opinion that why would I spend time on Instagram? It doesn't drive any page views. Right. Like, what's the point, right? Because that's all we were concerned with was page views, page views, page views.
Yes. Yes.
But now with Instagram, it lets you be able to show the product in the background in like the perfect flat lay, and they don't need to link through to go buy it off of their website. Because let's be honest, no one's buying anything off people's websites. They're buying it off of Amazon when they go, or the grocery store when they go to the store. So because of that, being able to have that influence and see it there is what matters the most, I think, to the brands. It's just seeing the influence there and pushing them to want to have that product.
And again, like the thing that I'm thinking a lot about are stories, not Instagram stories, just stories in our lives, how we tell stories, what our own narratives are. And so if I can show myself using a product, that's a story. And then people get it in a way that they might not get it when they see the product on the shelf.
Right.
It's like it animates it, makes it come to life. It makes, if you can see me use it, you can probably then see yourself using it.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, so true. And I love that you kind of like tell the story, but at the same time also like Instagram stories, that is one of my favorite places to be able to connect, have that conversation, and to really authentically show how you're using it. Whether it's an outfit that you're wearing or it's a ingredient you're using to make a recipe.
Yeah.
Sure.
And my one thought as I'm diving deep right now on Instagram, I'm coming out with like a big guide to Instagram. So I am researching every aspect and it'll be live in a couple weeks. I'll send it to you because I think it will, look at all these different things. And really, I think that Instagram works on two levels, which is you get to show your curated self in your feed, and then you get to be a little more playful and a little more real in your stories. And right now, I would say, as I'm digging in, that IGTV is probably not where you want to necessarily, unless you are great with video, where you want to be focusing. Right now, I would be focusing on both your feed and your stories.
Yes.
And showing, again, different sides of yourself. Because, when I think about myself, I've got all these different sides. I'm a mom. I'm a business person. I'm a party thrower. Like, I've got a variety of things. And so I'm able to explore those different elements within the platform of Instagram.
Yes. It's funny because I recently did podcast episode 88 with Tyler J. Bacall, and we talked about Instagram stories and how to grow your following, and the whole idea that people are complaining about the engagement on Instagram is down, it's down, it's down. But in reality, people are using the platform differently. They're not spending time commenting in the feed as much and interacting. They're doing it in stories now. I can admit, like, I spend probably less, like half of what I used to in the feed. Now I'm just primarily in everyone's stories.
Sorry, that's my fault.
No, you're totally you're fine, obviously. So yeah, no, I love Instagram stories for that. So now you mentioned Milo Tree, and I actually am a Milo Tree user, and I hooked it up to Instagram. That was immediately what I wanted. Mm-hmm. So tell us exactly how it helps to grow your influence.
Okay, so two things I want to say. The first is it works. If you have traffic, so it converts your traffic into followers. And what's cool about that is people who are coming to your site are really good followers, meaning because they already know you, they like your content. So if they're going to follow you on Instagram or they're going to follow you someplace, chances are they'll be the kind of people who will interact with your content or who want to see your content. So you're not just like paying for followers to, you don't want to be doing that. You want invested followers. So what's great about Milo Tree is you get these invested followers because all it's doing is taking people who already like you and just finding other ways to connect to those people. So what it does is can you hear me, by the way?
I can, yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I can hear you. Anyway, so what it does is you install it on your site and it pops up and it will say, and you connect it to your Instagram account. So on the pop-up itself, it shows your most recent pins, your most recent posts. On Pinterest, it will show your most recent pins. So you don't have to design it. You don't have to do anything with it. But it signals to your audience, I'm serious about this platform. You should take me seriously on it as well and follow me. and it will convert. And so it pops up and says, follow me on Instagram. And then you click on it. It will send somebody to your Instagram account to follow you. And if people click on it, chances are they will follow you. Now, the cool thing about it is you can also then set up other networks. So let's say you want to grow Instagram first, but you want to grow Pinterest second.
Okay.
So somebody comes to your site and the first thing they will see is your Instagram pop up. Then when that person comes back to your site, they will see your Pinterest pop up. And we did this on purpose. And then let's say you've set up YouTube because you're trying to grow your YouTube channel. The next time that person comes to your site, they'll see YouTube and it'll say, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And we have an email pop-up that you can add an image to, that you can design yourself, and it will say, subscribe to my list. So it's almost like a drip campaign, if you know what a drip campaign is, of different things to engage your audience. And we believe in one ask per visit. We don't believe in asking a ton of stuff because then your visitor gets like A, overwhelmed, and B, can be turned off. So we've tried, okay, so again, we use our own product. And as I like to say, we eat our own dog food. So we care so much about the performance of the pop-up, the fact that it's noticeable but not super intrusive. It's not going to shake in your face. And it has done so well for us. So we know that it will work. And the other thing too is bloggers are busy. We do not want to deal with the tech stuff, right? We would just want to create, to be honest, we really just want to create. We don't really want to reach out to brands and do all of that stuff. We want to create for brands. Right. So again, we don't really want to be optimizing things. So we've done all that for you. You can set MiloTree up in 2 minutes. It's a WordPress plugin or a simple line of code. We show you how to do it, but you don't have to be a designer. You don't have to be any sort of tech guru. You can just, boom, set it up and it will start working. And I am the person who reads all the emails. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me at Jillian@milotree.com or Jillian@catchmyparty.com, because remember, I have all these different roles and they go to the same inbox. But we care, again, like we co-created with our audience on Catch My Party, so much of the functionality of MiloTree has come from listening to our customers and really engaging with our customers. So that's how we think about it.
And it makes so much sense, because when you're talking about having it set up so that it'll show you one and then the next time show you a different platform, because we always talk about the fact that our audience that we have is not the same that's on Facebook, that's the same on Instagram. So you're giving your audience an opportunity to raise their hand and say, yes, I want to watch you on YouTube, or yes, I want to be over on Instagram with you, and not feeling like, oh, well, she's only on Instagram, I'm not there, so I can't follow her. So love that. So smart.
Yeah.
Is there analytics behind the scenes that show how many like visits people are making to how many actually convert?
So what we know is that if somebody clicks on your pop-up, there's like an 80 to 90% chance that they will then follow you on that platform.
Okay.
And what we will show you in your analytics on MiloTree, we'll show you your total follower count, like how many Pinterest followers or Instagram followers you have, and we'll show you how many people are clicking on that pop-up. Because we can't tell you if ultimately they then click over to Instagram and follow you, because we don't have access to that. Only Instagram has access to that data. Like, we can't follow you there. And so, but we can show you how much engagement your pop-ups are getting. And you can kind of assume, if you have clicks, that those are turning into followers, people that didn't already follow you, that you're not getting from other sources, that are coming directly from having this pop up on your site.
Okay. Yes, I love that. So,
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
We also offer your first 30 days free, because we don't want you to like be a customer unless it's working for you, unless you're seeing the benefit. And it's $9 a month, but the first 30 days free, try it out and see what you think. And if you have comments, email me. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear what you think.
Love that. So you guys, for those of you that are live with us, it's up in the description. You can check out MiloTree, join for 30 days free. If you're listening to the podcast, it is linked in the show notes. So if you hop over to the podcast, to the actual blog notes, you'll be able to grab that link and be able to get your 30 days free. Jillian, where else can everyone find you? You mentioned your podcast. Where are the best places to follow and connect with you?
Okay, so again, Catch My Party, we're everywhere. You can check out like what we're doing on Pinterest and Instagram. So because of MiloTree, again, we do have a lot of traffic because as a mom, chances are you've been to my site if you're planning parties. So, and again, we are very niche. So you'll see we have close to 1 million followers on Pinterest. I just checked it, and we were not, I want to always say this, we were not one of those sites where the Pinterest gods shine the light on them at the beginning. You know, you see these sites and you're like, how did they get 4 million followers? Okay, so we were not that. We just kind of grew it. We just slow and steady. And also our Instagram followers, I think we have like 150,000 followers for Catch My Party. So that's, you know, you can see that. In terms of MiloTree, we are everywhere. It's MiloTree app. Now, we're not growing our social media followers as much with MiloTree as email is much more valuable to us because we want more of that close connection to our customers. But if you sign up for MiloTree, you get I send you an email every week with tips and tricks and how we grew social media, what we think about it, what we think about email marketing, all of that stuff. Because again, I feel like you, I just want to help people grow and live the lives that they want to live.
No, absolutely. Jillian, I appreciate you so much for taking the time and sharing with my audience. This was fabulous, and I love that we're on the same page about how to work as an influencer. Could you tell I had a fangirl moment when I realized who Jillian was when she was interviewing me for her podcast? Yes. So it was a fantastic interview with tons of information, you guys. Make sure that you go into the comments and let me know if you feel like you're ready to be an influencer and are ready to work with brands to get sponsored content. Make sure that you download the pitch checklist that is also in the comments and sign up for MiloTree. Clearly, it is helping people, bloggers, influencers, grow their platforms, and not just one, on multiple. You can reach your audience that is coming to your blog where they are. So if they're on Instagram, if they're on Facebook, wherever it might be, grow those followings. And MiloTree is a simple, not that techie kind of plugin that's easy to use. All right, guys, until next time, I will see you all then.